Hello PWL fans and welcome to Game 4 of the second week of the PWL season. This week's Primetime matchup. Primetime meaning that the level of competition in this game is higher than any others of the week. As always, I'm Joe Adams and I'm accompanied by John Smith.
That's right, Joe. Let's meet the players that make up this Primetime cast, starting with Bethany Heron's free agent Owen Anderson, who also happens to be the 5th ranked player in the league. He is subbing in for the Herons this game. Playing for the Hillsborough Highlanders is Ben Baird.
The Rose City Wreckers are represented by Max Carlton and the Cedar Mill Shockwave by Jack Fairhurst.
Finally, playing for the Beaverton Ballers is 4th ranked player Ryan Cheddar Heilman, and for the Aloha Gladiators is Simon Boskirk. Let's get started with this first match.
Here we're starting with prime time matchup here, starting off already with some good hits from the number 4 ranked player Ryan Heilman. Simon Carrick going on the receive, and he barely gets onto the table. Really good placement. And right there, Jack Fairhurst gets himself out in a mirror of what happened in his Week 1 performance. He just sends it right over the table on his classic backhand, and now that looks a lot like the famous Jack blunder from Week 1.
Absolutely, that's almost a perfect mirror of that performance right there. Let's get started with an Owen Anderson serve. Excuse Ben Baird, he has the incorrect jersey on. He should have a green shirt. And Max Carlton, who should have a red shirt on, pictured in the gray at the top left of your screen.
But speaking of jerseys, I think you should take a minute to appreciate the Aloha Gladiators player, Simon Boskirk, who's representing the Gladiators. Look, right there he comes over. He is repping that team. The Aloha Gladiators got his name on the back with his number, 34. That's a fan favorite player right there.
Yes, and he just gets his first elimination of the game right there on the second round of match 1.
Which means now we're down to our final 4 here, and that's
final 3 now.
That final 3 now is Max Carlton of the Rose City Wreckers just got out, and well, that's 3 players remaining.
Yep. All right, we got our live ball. Let's see what Cheddar does right here. A little bit of a power hit, and Owen can receive it. Let's see what happens right here. And that's a spike. Let's see what the referee calls right there.
Yeah, that looked really close. It could have been a side or the top. It looks like it's going to be on the referee. And yeah, proving that this is a very close call. He's looking at the table to see.
He's looking for damage.
He's looking for maybe any spot here. He's looking for maybe a smooth edge, which would prove whether if it was a side or a top, it would go up.
Obviously, Simon Carrick wishing for the call to be on top of the table, while some other players are hoping for Simon Carrick to be out right here.
And it looks like the ref is just going to play it safe here and do a redo.
Owen Anderson right there, just pretty standard 3 game right now. Let's go with short side of the table. Ryan with a good hit, and just not enough right there for Owen Anderson. He's going to get himself out. We're going to go to our championship round of match 1. Simon Carrick versus Ryan Heilman.
A gladiator versus baller matchup, and we're going to see just who comes out on top on this one.
All right, that's live ball. That was a real strong hit. Almost all the way over the top of the table, but still in bounds. Another high hit. Another power hit. Just going to go pretty standard strong game right here.
Looks like Simon is mostly playing defensive here. Ryan Heilman's known for some pretty tricky moves. And right there he hits it right over the table, which seals the match 1 victory for Ryan Cheddar Heilman of the Beaverton Ballers.
Owen Anderson at the bottom of your screen right there, thinking he's in frame while he's not.
Which leads us to our first sponsor of the day, the Misty Meadows Housing Office. Now, both commentators for this match have a house in Misty Meadows, and what would you think about that neighborhood?
I think it's pretty good. It's one of my 5 or 6 houses I have is one there. I didn't know you actually had a house there, did you?
Yeah, I got evicted from someone else's house before, but then I recently purchased a new house there, so I got my own property that I can't get evicted from this time.
That's good to know. Ben Baird with the serve, and it looks like we're going to have live ball, and already Max Carlton out right there. He just isn't ready. Maybe doesn't know it's his turn, or just shocked by the speed of that ball right there.
That's right, just not really paying attention, I suppose, and that means that's a 6th place for him. Not a great start for him, but there's still plenty more of this game for him to go, which means now we're down to remaining 5 players, and Simon Carrick is preparing to receive that deadly serve. Receive.
Just soft right there.
And here we go. The game is going. Everyone's starting to move around the table. This is an odd-numbered game, and we've made it around the table once. Looks like Ryan Heilman is playing a lot more defensive than he was in match 1. We'll see how that works out for him. Owen Anderson barely makes it on the table. Jack
Just
Fairhurst,
going long side right now.
Jack Fairhurst definitely trying to do better than his 6th place placement in match 1. I mean, that's a huge deficit to overcome for a player of his expected stature. So,
And right there, we're going to have a tough call for the ref, seeing if that's side or top, and if we're going to do an out or a redo on this.
It looks like they're calling that a side, according to the replay camera. And Ben Baird of the Hillsborough Highlanders gets his 2nd straight 5th place as we're down to our final 4.
Looks like our announcer / referee is coming up, announcing the play right here. I do believe Ryan Heilman is promoted to king after Ben Baird was the king and just gets out. So now we have a serve. Oh, not a serve right there. Just, I'm not exactly sure what he did right there. I guess we had a little bit of mix-up. He was about to serve. Owen Anderson coming up to the screen. Just messing around like he normally does. And we got a live ball now. Pretty standard duos game. Ryan almost ran across the table, which he did not need to do. That could have been very detrimental to him if he did. Just playing long game right now by all 4 players. Let's see what Jack can do. Nothing really. Let's see who will either mess up first or spice the game up. And it looks like Owen Anderson will start that angle hit, and now we're on short side. And Simon Carrick just hits it right over, taking himself out of the game on 4th position.
That's right, Simon Carrick is out, which means our final 3 is now Jack Fairhurst to the Shockwave, coming all the way, a great comeback from a 6th place in match 1. And of course we still have Ryan Heilman trying to get his 2nd straight win, and free agent Owen Anderson making his 2nd straight top 3 appearance. Starting with a serve from Heilman, Jack Fairhurst is prepared for a strong receive, and he tries to do it, but it looks like it didn't hit the table, and the ref is calling a serve 1 on Anderson. We'll begin another redo on the play.
Serve right there by Ryan Heilman.
Jack Fairhurst backing up, preparing for the hit, and it's a soft one, but he misses the table. That's a 2nd serve on Owen Anderson. That means 1 more, and he is eliminated before the game has even begun. Let's see how he takes this one.
See if it'll go safe. I'd assume so.
Yeah, very safe serve, but good enough to angle around the table, and now we got players moving.
Lots of angled hits right there.
Yep. A lot of skill right here from these players, a lot of technical ability. Ryan Heilman switches it up with a strong hit, and Owen Anderson not expecting that. We'll see that on the replay. Tries to get it and launches it right over. Great.
Way too much power. That's 4 tables lengths right there.
That's right, which means our final 2 is Ryan Heilman returning and Jack Fairhurst after a 6th place performance. That's a great turnaround for him.
Absolutely, I agree right there. And it looks like we're going to have serve 1 on Ryan Heilman. Too much power on that serve. Alright, a less powerful serve. Let's see if Jack can return. He can. We got live ball right here. Just some pretty standard high power game right here. We're not going to go angled shots yet. And Jack just sends it right over the table, putting way too much power on that ball from 2 courts away. Ryan Heilman with his 2nd win in a row. We're 2 matches in, Joe. Let's look at the standings thus far.
After winning matches 1 and 2, baller Ryan Heilman currently sits at the top with a perfect 10 points, as expected from the number 4 player in the league. Behind him is Simon Carrick of Aloha, who had a great turnaround from his last game, scoring 6 points across the first 2 matches.
Tied with Carrick is Heron's free agent Owen Anderson, who placed 3rd back-to-back to place number 5 in the league at 6 points. And 4th is Jack Fairhurst of the Cedar Mill Shockwaves, who had a 1st-round exit revered by a 2nd-round placement in match 2, scoring 4 points for the Shockwaves.
That leaves Wrecker Max Carlton and Highlander Ben Baird tied in last with 2 points each. Carlton started with a 4th place, worsened by a 1st-round exit in match 2, and Baird had back-to-back 5th place finishes.
This looks like a pretty even board so far between 1st and 4th, and then we got our last 2 players down there, 2 points apiece.
That's right. Both of the ranked players in this match are in the top 3, but the surprising person is Simon Boss Carrick, who had good, at least for these first 2 matches, a good turnaround. But right there, wow, I might have jinxed him right there, but that was just he hit it real high, and Owen Anderson took control of that situation, just slammed it, and there's really no returning that type of hit as Simon Carrick gets out first in match 3.
Not a strong match right there for the Gladiators after he was looking high on that board. That'll definitely drop him some placements right there as we go into match 2 of round 3. Or excuse me, round 2 of match 3. Looks like we have some confusion on the order.
Jack Fairhurst helping out a little bit here. All right, looks like everyone knows, and wrecker Max Carlton in the incorrect jersey color is to serve.
Live ball, and on the first live ball, Ben Baird is out.
Yep, Jack Fairhurst eliminates Ben Baird for his 3rd straight 5th round on a good serve receive there. I guess there wasn't too much he could have done there. Maybe he could have stepped back a little bit more to anticipate that power hit, see what Owen Anderson does. Another strong hit, and again, not far back enough, and Owen Anderson gets out the same way Ben Baird did. That's 2 white shirts out for Jack Fairhurst.
2 white shirts, but 1 should be a green shirt. Ben Baird. And now we're in the top 3 already with Max Carlton making his first appearance in top 3, Ryan Hallman with his 3rd in a row, and Jack Fairhurst with his 2nd in a row. And Max Carlton not pulling a Fergie special.
That was almost a Fergie special, but a great recovery for him. And Jack gets Ryan Hallman out. That'll be the first time he won't be winning a match today. And that was a great receive from Max Carlton. He was almost out, but he got there in time. A really athletic play, which means Jack Fairhurst is in his 2nd top 2, and Max Carlton is looking for a chance to win it all right here.
Yeah, that'll definitely add some points to his board after a 4th and a 6th. First place would definitely help boost him up that leaderboard right now.
So we got a serve 1 on Max Carlton, I believe, but now the ball's live. Now Max Carlton is known for doing some more tricky hits, but looks like he won't have a good opportunity to do one there as he hits it on the side trying to get a skimmer ball, and Jack Fairhurst wins his first match after a 2nd place last match. That's some good points right there.
Yeah, I guess it was just too tricky for him to get the ball on the table.
Yeah, but something that you can always rely on to not be tricky is shopping at 7-Eleven, who have the best Frosties, Slurpees, whatever you want to call them, all time.
Yeah, they got the best Slurpees, just like Matt's mom got the best Sloppy in the league.
That I agree with. We've all been to Matt's mom's place once or twice.
And we will start round 1 of match 4 right now. We're stating off the orders as there is some confusion, as that seems to be when we have idiots playing this game. They don't know how to process.
Serving is Jack Fairhurst of Cedar Mill, and the ball is live.
Let's see what Ryan Hallman can do. Not much. Ben Baird going to do a angled hit, and we're going on the short side of the table. Jack Fairhurst is trying to swap the side of the table, and he does so successfully. And Max Carlton getting out free agent / Herons player Owen Anderson right there.
That's right, a great hit there from Max Carlton, a directional hit, and Owen Anderson tried to do something pretty fancy and ended up getting himself out right there. And now we're down to our remaining 5 players.
Not a terrible game so far for Owen Anderson being a 5th ranked player, but not a 5th ranked player game so far.
That's right. He's looking pretty decent, but definitely not 5th player level.
Again, some confusion even though we only have 1 player out, which is really weird because it should not be that hard.
Yeah, it looks like the ref is coming in here to try and knock some skulls. So you think Simon Boss Carrick would be showing a lot more waterfall IQ right now, but looks like, maybe he is taking lead of the charge right here, and Jack Fairhurst is just completely flabbergasted with how numbers work. I'm pretty sure he failed kindergarten 3 times in a row, but looks like we got that all sorted out. And now the serve.
And we have a live ball returned by Ryan Hallman with a power hit, and Ben Baird with too much power on that hit.
And that is Ben Baird's 4th straight 5th round. But to his credit, that is a hit from Ryan Hallman. Those are pretty hard to receive.
We're going to move into our doubles match for right now. Live ball received by Ryan Hallman. Simon Carrick to receive on that. There's a standard doubles match going the full length of the table. It looks like Jack trying to do a little bit of something, but Mac Carlton will just return it to the normal side. And now we're swapped to the short side, and now we're swapping sides completely. Going a little angled. Pretty standard right now. Let's see what Jack can do with this soft ball right here. He's going to go a little bit high in the air. Let's see what Max can do with it. Angled hit, returned by another angled hit. Full length of the table right there. Jack with a little bit of a weird hit right there. just some standard game. Pretty powerful hit with not much power though. Power hit right there. And it looks like that ball hit the ground.
That was a close one right there. He almost got out. And there's our elimination for this match. Max Carlton hits it over, trying to do a directional shot, which means now we have our final three. Ryan Howman in his 4th straight, Jack Fairhurst in his 3rd straight, and Simon Carrick coming back for his first top 3 appearance since match 1.
Jack Fairhurst to serve with...
Simon Carrick's got to be careful, but it looks like... yep, that was a tricky one, but he was able to make the athletic play, get there in time. Everyone's doing some pretty nice directional shots. Jack Fairhurst doing some power hits, and Ryan Howman, man, another SD for Ryan Howman as he hits the side of the table, immediately goes to looking at his paddle. That is not the problem, Ryan Howman. It's you. You are the problem. And now we have the top 2 here between Simon Carrick making his 2nd top 2 appearance, and Jack Fairhurst looking for a 2nd win in a row.
Absolutely. After a first round exit for Jack Fairhurst in match 1, he's in the top 2 for the 3rd time in a row right here. Let's see what will happen. Looks like we got a little bit of a delay. I guess Jack doesn't know how to serve the ball. He's just delaying the game. I think he's a little bit scared right here.
I would be scared too if I was facing the Simon Boss Carrick.
Just some full-length play right here. Let's see who will change this game right here from full length to maybe a little corner shot or something. And neither of these 2 players are really much of risk takers, I'd say. They're both more conservative players, so I think it'll be more of a battle of attrition to see who messes up first. As I've been saying, just full-length game right now with a little bit of power. Jack trying to get a spike in, almost sells it over, but he gets a hit right at the end. Simon just backed up all the way for these power hits from Jack. Jack swapping up the side right there, and now we're at a slight angle. Jack with another angle. Now we're short side of the table. Just a battle of attrition again. Jack trying to swap sides of the table, maybe trying to get on the side where the crack is advantageous for him. And Simon just floats it a little too high, taking over the entire length of the table, getting himself out. Jack with another win in a row.
So now that we've reached 4 matches in, let's see how the standings have changed.
The baller's Ryan Howman remains in first despite a turn down in his performance. Back-to-back 3rd place has increased the 4th ranked player total to 16.
Quickly catching up to Howman is Jack Fairhurst of the Shockwave, who won back-to-back matches in order to close the gap, passing Simon Carrick for 2nd place and only being 2 points behind Howman at 14.
Carrick goes down a spot after a first-round exit in match 3, but he turned around in match 4 with a 2nd place finish. He's now sitting in double digits at 10 points.
Max Carlton moves up a slot as he had a 2nd place finish in match 3, scoring 8 total points, which is enough to tie 5th ranked player Owen Anderson, who started out strong but has since regressed with only 8 points thus far.
That leaves the Highlanders' Ben Baird in last. He now has 4 straight 5th place finishes, scoring a total of 4 points across the time frame.
Which means now we're going to be getting into the final third of this game as players start to ramp up a little bit looking for those points.
Yeah, that's true. I think Owen Anderson has a little bit of to prove right here, making him a 5th ranked player. I think he needs to show something for himself to get him to keep himself in that spot right there.
That's right. We got some players moving around as the order is shown. Ryan Howman will be serving, and at least players don't have to worry about having to receive from him on the serve for pretty much the entire game.
And we have a serve 1 right there on Ben Baird. Owen talking to the camera, not realizing they don't care what he has to say.
That's right. And that's a serve 2 on Ben Baird. I'm sure he's going to go conservative on this last hit because if he gets a 3rd serve, then he's out.
Let's see what happens. And that's a 3rd serve on him.
That's a
He's
3rd
out.
serve, and Ben Baird has been eliminated. We already have our first elimination in the game without even having started the actual game yet.
Yeah, that's not what you see often. I think we only had 1 more out due to serve elimination this season so far in week 1.
Yeah, I think maximum we've had 2, maybe 3 this season for like absolute max of people getting out on serve.
See if we can return a serve now.
It looks like Simon Carrick is the receiver, and looks like he didn't swing, so that's serve 1 on Howman, which is what Baird should have done. But now serve on Carrick as he tries to, even with the soft hit, he's just not able to get on the table. I mean, Howman is just messing people up here.
See if Carrick goes a little more. Oh, it's gonna hit the middle and see. It's gonna go off the side, so that will technically be a serve 2 on Hallman, who's already out of serves now in this 5-man game so far. So he's gonna have to definitely keep that in mind. Jack with another one of his weird hits, and Max Carlton getting himself out, giving a kill for Jack.
Now we're down to our final 4 for this match. Returning players, Simon Carrick, Jack Fairhurst, and Ryan Hallman. And joining them is Owen Anderson.
Yep, for this duo's match, we're just going to start with the long side of the table.
Yep, and here we go. Simon Carrick is receiving from Ryan Hallman yet again for this match. He's been receiving from him all game, and I mean, all things considered, he's been doing pretty good receiving from such a high talent in the league for practically the entire game.
Back to the long side of the table we are.
And Hallman does a power strike, and Simon get it back. He recovers greatly, and so does Jack do. And everyone's just showcasing their own abilities here. Everyone's doing some pretty strong hits. Owen Anderson doing a mid-game point to the camera. He's certainly an eccentric one to watch there.
Absolutely. Let's see if a team will pick him up and in any of these following weeks after maybe dropping a player who's underperforming.
That's right. There's actually a couple free agents, some who haven't even been signed to a one-game deal yet, but you know, out of all the free agents, Owen Anderson and Matt Ferguson are the 2 most prominent. And right there, Owen Anderson's showing why he's the 5th-ranked player. He gets a great setup from Jack there, and that's his 2nd slam of the night, getting out the 4th-ranked player, Ryan Hallman, who goes right to judging his paddle. And, you know, I think they should just ban him from the league for that. I mean, just blaming everything on your paddle, unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, I think every paddle blame should be a -1 point per game, so that's just my idea. I don't know. But let's get into this top 3 matchup with some Owen Anderson doing a little bit of some fancy stuff. He almost gets himself caught off guard, but he goes to the right side of the table just in time. Jack to hit, Owen right there. Now we got Carrick right here going angled right there. Jack to return on the angle. Let's see what Owen does. Trying to return to the long side of the table, and Simon Carrick does do that. Angled hit right there. We're going short side of the table now. Just some pretty standard gameplay right now. We've not really got too many. And as I say that, we get an angled shot. Jack able to return properly, and Owen just shooting it right over the side.
Yep, that's Owen Anderson's third place of the game. That's the best that he's done so far.
You know, 3rd place, not terrible, but it's not 5th-ranked player right there.
That's right. And now we'll have a rematch between Jack Fairhurst and Simon Carrick of the Shockwave and Gladiators. And Jack Fairhurst is going for his 3rd straight win. He'll get a 3-peat if he wins this match. Now the ball is live. Let's see what goes on here. Jack taking early control with his famous backhands. And Simon just kind of stepping back. We can't even see him on the camera. That's how far back he is. Trying to hit back these power hits from Jack Fairhurst. And again, I mean, same thing as last match. Oh, that's going to hit the corner, which means now they're forced to play on the short side.
Not the luckiest bounce Jack could have got right there, but still a decent game changer right there for him.
That's right. Now they have to take some more risks with this shorter side of the table, and both of them are kind of making each other move. Pretty evenly matched gameplay right here.
And as well as that, both these players do hit over the entire table pretty commonly.
And there goes Simon Carrick showing a little bit of frustration there as he throws his paddle across the room. Certainly not sportsmanlike. Just completely whips that thing across. I'm sure it didn't break or anything. That would be absolutely terrible if it broke.
Is that a broken paddle right there?
I think it is. I wonder what paddle that could be. Hopefully it's not the one that Simon Carrick was using. That'd be terrible. He'd have to buy an entirely new paddle. But let's take a look at our sponsors, JRG Financial, Jonathan Ross Greaves, their stockbrokers. I
don't like buying paddles, but I do definitely like buying stocks using JRG Financial.
I agree, John.
Do you? Do you agree? Do you buy stocks, or do you have no money to
Zero.
your name?
I have a couple offshore Chinese accounts that I use to secretly puppeteer the American government and lobby mayor officials, but
So if those are offshore in China, that means you do not invest your money in JRG, because that is American.
No, I invest in CLG, Chingling Financial Investment Group.
Okay, Brokey, let's get back to the game. It looks like we're going to have a serve 1 on Owen Anderson. And that's going to be serve 2 on Owen Anderson. Let's see if he goes more conservative on this one, wasting both his serves while we still have 6 people in the game. And I'm not sure what just happened right there.
I think that was a serve 2 on Owen Anderson. That surely won't come back to bite him later in the game, I'm certain.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, wasting both your serves instantly, that can't hurt you. But that hurt Ben Baird right there, not hitting the ball onto the table.
That's right, which means now we're down to 4 players, some familiar faces here. Ryan Howman, Jack Ferris, Owen Anderson, and Simon Carrick.
And we're going to get a redo as we did not have players set before that ball was served.
That's right. Whoever was serving that ball, I think it's the guy in the orange shirt, I forget his name, who broke his paddle. I think he might be a little slow. Got some good directional shots here.
Already on the short side of this duos match.
Making Jack Fairhurst run, and we're going to see what goes on here. I've noticed Owen Anderson and Ryan Hellman have very similar startups. And right there, Ryan Hellman, you're going to see on the replay, great strong hit. Jack isn't able to back up enough, and that's an elimination for Jack after getting the three-peat. That's his 4th place finish for him.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan Hellman just uses the camera to his advantage, putting the ball right in the camera, and just Jack doesn't have the room because of our camera right there.
That's right, which is another hazard of the game. Now we got our final 3 here. Owen Anderson trying to break the top 3 for the first time in this entire game.
Looks like we're going short side of the table now, and Ryan's going to do an angled hit returned by Carrick. Owen going full length right there. Let's see what Ryan does. Bit of a power hit right there, returned. Owen able to do that. That's an angled hit. Got Simon running all the way across the table. He is not able to return that right there. He's taken himself out 3rd in the last match of the game.
Which means Owen Anderson makes his first top 2 appearance, and Ryan Howman going for his 3rd win of the match.
Absolutely. While we did not mention this, Jack did get his 3rd win last game. He's got the hat trick now. Oh, baby, a triple, as I would normally say.
And Ryan Hellman is looking for that same oh, baby, a triple to grab for himself if he gets this win. And it looks like we missed. Owen Anderson got a 3rd serve before the game, so we don't even need to watch that game because it doesn't even happen.
Wow, it looks like it did come back to bite him.
That's right, getting 2 serves in the beginning just completely backfired. And, well, now it's the end of the game. Let's see who came out on top.
Ben Baird remained in last place after a 6th and a 5th place finish, totaling 5 points total for the night on 1 elimination. Not too far in front of him is Max Carlton of the Wreckers, who also had a 5th and a 6th place finish in the last 2 matches, staying in single digits as he scores 9 points on 1 elimination. Certainly a regression from his performance in Week 1.
Owen Anderson, the what I will assume is former 5th-ranked player, passed Carlton to take 4th place for the Herons, scoring 15 points after having a great 3rd and 2nd place finish across matches 5 and 6, totaling 2 eliminations and a regicide. That leaves the unchanged top 3. The bronze going to Simon Carrick of the Glads, who scored 17 points on a 3rd and 2nd place finish across the last 2 matches, and claiming 2 eliminations for his stat sheet. 2nd
place goes to Jack Ferris of the Shockwaves, who won a 3rd match in a row, but placed 4th in match 6 to not quite catch up to number 1. He scored an excellent 21 points across 11 eliminations and 3 regicides, but the player of the game goes to Ryan Howman, who scored 23 points on the end of winning match 3, and the best statistical showing with 13 eliminations and 4 regicides.
Ryan Howman takes the victory for the Beaverton Ballers. Now it's the end of Week 2, so let's take a look at the updated team standings. The Cedar Mill Shockwave move up 2 places from last week to take the league leading position with 152 combined points spread across 45 eliminations and 14 regicides. The Rose City Wreckers fall to 2nd, just 1 point behind at 151. The Aloha Gladiators move up from 5th to 3rd, 10 points behind the Wreckers with 151 across 49 eliminations and a league-leading 15 regicides. The Hillsborough Highlanders fell from 2nd to 4th, 10 points behind the Glads at 131, with a league-leading 52 eliminations and 14 regicides. The Beaverton Ballers fell from 4th to 5th, just 2 points behind the Highlanders with 129 points across 45 eliminations and 12 regicides. And the Bethany Herons remain in last, 26 points behind the Ballers with 103, totaling 33 eliminations and 7 regicides. So, as we can see, a great game for the Cedar Mill Shockwave, but Ryan Howman just wasn't able to increase the Ballers' total.
Absolutely. Now let's get into the top 5 knockout leaders. Caden Ferris remains the league leader with 33 total knockouts. Ryan Howman of the Ballers is in second, just 6 behind him with 27 in total. Tanner Jenkins of the Highlanders moves into the top 5 at third with 25 KOs. Ben Clement moves up from last week's 5th to 4th on 22 eliminations. And finally, Kane Ball So Hard Edmonds moves down from last week's 3rd to 5th. Still in the top 5 with 17 KOs. The Cedar Mill Shockwaves are the only team without a player on this list.
Do you think that could be possible? Do you think that could possibly be explained by the fact that the Cedar Mill Shockwaves suck?
Probably, yes.
Well, let's see. Let's move on to regicides leaders. Gladiator Caden Ferris remains in first with 13 regicides. Right behind him is, once again, Ballers Ryan Howman with 8 for himself. Just like in knockouts, Tanner Jenkins moves up from nowhere to third with 7, as Kane Edmonds drops a spot with 5. Finally, Ben Clement of the Herons moves up from nowhere with 4 regicides. The top 5 regicides leaders is simply a rearranged list of the top 5 knockouts leaders.
And still no Shockwaves. They must be sad.
That's right, John. They are really, really bad. Let's take a look at the league's new top 10 players. Caden Fairhurst remains as the league's triple crown holder with the most points scored with 58, alongside the most eliminations and the most regicides. Kane Edmonds of the Wreckers keeps his second place spot, even if barely, as he moves up to 46 points scored. Ryan Howman of the Ballers moves up a spot from last week, 1 point behind second at 45 scored, with the second most eliminations and regicides to boot. Tanner Jenkins also moves up 5 spots to place 4th, with 43 points scored. And finally, our top 5 is rounded out with the Herons' Ben Clement, who moved up 6 spots to 5th place with 42 points. This top 5 list is very close, John.
Johnny Collier moves up a spot from last week to claim 6th on our list at 39 points. And to round him out, the top 10 players we have are Jack Fairhurst at 7, free agent Owen Anderson at 8, moving down from 5th, Jared Istook at 9th, and finally Spencer Jenkins in 10.
That'll do it for Week 2, folks. We hope to see you again for Week 3 of the PWL season. I'm Joe Adams.
And I'm John Smith. We'll see you next time. Balzac.